sure that we are meeting the needs of all of our ESE students and that we're in compliance according to IDEA.
Thank you so much. And I just had recording. I forgot to hit recording at the beginning. Again, welcome to our last lunch and learn today with the Osceola School District. We are going to be talking today about some of the changes that are going to happen for the new school year. And we had some parents reach out to us, and I had a very good conversation with Miss Hillary. And we thought it would be a good idea to have this webinar where we put some of the questions, we kind of compile them all together and give answers to those questions. And also to bring light to the changes that's coming. And I know from my conversation with Miss Hillary that it's a very thoughtful and well structured and organized change, and we wanted to convey that message as well. So we are going to go over some of the questions. We have people here in the in the Zoom with us. Please put your questions that you have in the Q&A. We will go ahead and answer those as we go. If they are very specific, we are going to take those questions, and Ms. Kathleen is going to take those to the department and really go over them and give you specific answers to those. We are also going to be providing some phone numbers, emails, or address where they can go if they have more information. I know you guys have been super open door policy with the families. And then at the end, we're going to go and look at the website as well, where there are some really great resources that parents can look at. And we're just going to go over those. So helping everybody to find them. So with that being said, Kathleen, I'm going to give you the floor so you can share your presentation and then go over the questions.
Awesome. Well, thank you. I'm going to hopefully pull up my screen. Is everyone able to see? Perfect.
Yes.
Well, I do want to start off by really thanking this whole team to allow us the platform to speak and answer questions out there. Since the board meeting in March, we recognize as a department that there have been a lot of questions from our community in regards to the upcoming changes. And the purpose of our session today is to help provide clarity to those that have reached out to FND with questions. And we've been very grateful that FND has provided us with these questions. We're going to address each one individually that has been provided. But before going into the individual questions, we did think it was important that we kind of wanted to ensure that we were all on the same page as to what enhancements and updates are really being made. And there are two main components to those changes because we do recognize that there's a lot of misunderstandings and misinformation out there. So we just want to make sure that we're kind of all on the same page. So our first couple of slides are going to really just talk about what those enhancements and updates mean. So as we're looking at this slide, we have kind of circled the increase inclusive opportunities. This initiative was to first intentionally increase inclusive opportunities across our school district. School principals were provided information in March of last school year regarding the data related to students served in the separate class setting for Osceola School District. The data did show that students in Osceola County were being served in separate classes settings at significantly higher rates than any other district in our state. School teams were provided a list of students at their school in this level of service and were asked to review the data related to each student on their list. Once that data was overly reviewed, they were asked to identify which students they could move into more inclusive opportunities with their non-disabled peers. They were also asked to plan out what training staff might need, what individual supports the students would need, and a timeline for when they could start making recommendations beginning in August of this current school year. Several schools were successful already in completely mainstreaming students prior to March of this school year. So that has been one awesome opportunity. So two-pronged with some of the changes on the left-hand side as a district, we are moving forward to increasing inclusive opportunities to ensure that our students are served in their least restrictive environment. Both of these platforms are intended to improve our current continuum of service, which is a requirement under IDEA. The second section, just to provide clarity, is discussing how, as a district, we were establishing hub site for intensive needs. The second shift in our district was to establish hub sites for students that continue to require that need for an intensive separate class setting. Our current practice has been to serve all students in separate classes at all schools. When looking at our purposeful goal of increasing inclusive opportunities, we have found that there are fewer students needing the support of a completely separate class setting, which made a shift in our current practice necessary in order to ensure that we could continue to provide the level of support students needed in this setting. Our current practice poses challenges in sustaining, since we are often seeing students with varying needs across the classrooms. We often have more grade levels than it is effective for that teacher. Additionally, some of the auxiliary services, such as occupational therapy, physical therapy, sometimes speech and language therapy, often became more of a challenge to provide since members of these teams were having to travel across the district between multiple schools. Consolidating these services at identified hub sites allowed team members to decrease travel time, as often more intensive services are within our separate classrooms. Now that I've gone into a little bit of what will be changing overall, I definitely want the opportunity to review the questions that have been asked through F&D. The first question that was brought to our attention was, why is this change being implemented? We often understand that understanding the why is so important. We frequently hear this question, why is this happening? And the main answer is to ensure, as a district, we are looking to improve the quality of the educational experience of our students with disabilities. Our district has an obligation to our students to educate in the least restrictive environment according to IDEA. And when comparing the data of our district's practices to others, it was important that we focused on increasing inclusive opportunities. We believe that with the right support, many students with disabilities can thrive in general education classrooms. This belief is backed by years of research and has been embraced by other school districts in Florida and across the nation. So it's time that we bring those inclusive opportunities for students in Osceola. At the same time, to continue offering the right level of support for students who need a more specialized separate class setting, we've identified hub sites that will provide these services while ensuring a full range of supports remain within our district. By adjusting where specialized separate classes are offered, we can better support students and make the most of our resources for them. Additionally, to ensure that we were making the best decisions for our students, the district brought in an external consultant to take a close look at our ESE program. Based on research-driven best practices, recommendations from this external consultant were brought to the district, designed to improve ESE student outcomes and to best support our students' individual needs and goals. I hope I'm not talking too
Yeah,
fast.
no, it's going good. This is a really good answers, and you're talking perfectly.
Perfect. All right, the second question that was brought to our attention that we wanted to make sure that we highlighted are, how are individual cases being evaluated? Our student needs and stories are very individual. It's very important that we take care with each family and we take that concern and care brought individually to a family. We encourage our families to reach out to our department. Our team's first goal is to ensure that our families understand the why these changes are occurring and then answer any lingering questions or concerns that they might have. We have assisted with several different topics, ranging from transportation, curriculum, medical concerns, or CTE pathways. In the majority of circumstances that families have brought to our attention, our department has been able to assist in answering questions and problem solving unique situations. We are also helping as a district with sibling choice to schools that are hubs for families. However, if our team alone have not been successful in accomplishing the support needed from parents and still have lingering questions or concerns, we have set up meetings with district leaders and our department in collaboration. The purpose of these meetings has been to try to establish ways to address specific family concerns and what supports might be needed. All right, going to our next question. Are the hubs at existing locations? All of our hubs located at public schools are located at public schools within our district. The only hub that we might not consider an existing location would be Cross Prairie K-8, which is a brand new public school setting opening in August. There is a copy of all hub locations on our department website, which is linked to the question on this slide as well. And I know we'll be taking a tour, a virtual field trip at the end of our questions today, so we can kind of review where that information can be found for parents and family. Our team is also working towards developing a separate day school, which will be new to our district. A separate day school is on the continuum of services, and it is one of the most restrictive settings, but is designed for students with the most intensive needs. This is a program that will be starting very small for the upcoming school year, but will expand over time as the needs of our district continue to grow. A separate day school is a type of school to address the intensive needs and does not include students without disabilities. As a result, parental consent is required for placement at a separate day school. Are there general education students at these hubs? All of the schools in our district will have general education students with the exception of the separate day school. In addition to these components of the continuum of services, hub sites will have separate classrooms. The type of separate classroom will vary depending upon the needs of the students attending those specific hub sites. So all of our schools, with the exception of the new separate day school, will have general education students at those hub sites, but they might have separate classrooms to address the needs of the intensive needs of our students. How will the district provide inclusive opportunities for students with disabilities? This has been a very purposeful and thought out journey across our district that has gone through the last year with so much of the work that has already been done with planning. For hub sites specifically, our team has gone to each site to review many items about separate class settings. One of the focal points is to address the importance of ensuring that students in separate class settings have every opportunity appropriate to be with their non-disabled peers. Items such as scheduling of breakfast, lunch, field trips are a talking point at each visit. Our goal is to use the separate class setting to address barriers that prevent students from accessing FAPE, a free and appropriate public education, in the general education setting. As those barriers are removed, we naturally increase those opportunities for inclusion. What will be done if a student has to commute longer distances on a school bus? This is also a great question and one that has been brought to our attention a couple of different times. Again, we recommend that parents reach out to the department to discuss this further if there are specific concerns regarding transportation. There are many ways that we can address student needs. Examples include limiting the number of students specifically on transportation vehicle, transporting or providing individualized transportation is another example of something that our district can do if there is a student need. And as we have noticed patterns or trends among group of students, we have made additional adjustments to our hubs. Two adjustments that have been recently made due to concerns that have been brought up from the community, have been adding the hub sites at St. Cloud Elementary and St. Cloud Middle School. So we are continuing to make updated enhancements as we go and as these concerns are brought to the district.
That's amazing. I wanted just to jump in on there is that from my conversation with Miss Hillary, that is one of the things that stood out also, that you all are really listening to the families, to their concern, and you guys went back to the drawing board and really looked like, okay, this is a genuine, legitimate concern. How can we address it? And this was such a good solution for that concern.
Absolutely. And that's why we are really encouraging parents to reach out. We want to make sure that our parents have the correct information. And if there are specific barriers or concerns that they have individually, we want to speak to them individually about their students, not in a whole group platform, so that we can divide that separate attention specifically for them. All right. Are there enough teachers and have they been trained? We know that is a huge question that is often asked out there, and it is a great question. We are currently experiencing a teacher shortage in the model of implementation that we currently operate within. For our hub sites, our goal has been to increase supports in the classroom to allow for the necessary structures and learning to continue while a vacancy is filled. Dr. Shanoff has been committed to ensuring that teachers and paras do not lose their position as a result of these enhancements to our program. Training for inclusive practices began early this school year during Wednesday afternoon virtual settings. As our team has visited hub sites, we have identified training needs specific to that school and worked to schedule those, preferably prior to the end of this current school year. Also, we will have summer opportunities, learning for new staff to the district, and training during pre-planning of next year. Another great question, especially in regards to safety and security for our students, where have these hubs been inspected for elopement, and is there a safety plan? Great question, because we want to ensure that we are providing the best supports for our students and for these hub sites so that they feel comfortable with operating with their current practices. Each hub site has been visited by a team from our department that consists of Ms. Hillary, our director, and representatives across our ESE department. Instruction, therapy, behavior, and compliance representatives have participated in these hub site visits. Part of this time spent at the school is to identify the students that display behaviors like elopement that can pose possible safety concerns. And we discuss as a team alternatives to be proactive at addressing these concerns. Additionally, for schools newer to experiencing this type of scenario, we have set individual times to walk campuses to identify the best location for classrooms and brainstorm classroom structures.
Yes, and I want to add that Miss Hillary, she shared with me that she personally went to all the schools. So
She
I,
absolutely
yeah,
did.
I know she is on top of it.
She has. It's been a real great opportunity, an individualized setting where the schools, their administrators can ask questions to us, and we've really been able to problem solve that specific school. So it has been great. All right, a buddy system. Is it possible to create a best buddy system at these hubs? Many of our schools currently already offer Best Buddies. While the official program is often found more at the secondary level, many of our elementary schools partner classrooms to increase these opportunities for students with disabilities. Our team is truly excited to brainstorm with schools as each school is unique on how they can implement a variation of the actual program at their school site. Right. I believe this is one of our last questions, but we want to make sure that families continue to have a contact person in the event that there are more concerns or more questions. Parents receiving a hub site letter were directed to contact Sarah McKinney in our department. She is a very knowledgeable member of our team that can answer most questions in addition to our office staff. For more in-depth questions or support needs, the person speaking to you from our department will request some information from you that will allow them to identify the most appropriate support in our department that could help answer questions. Our team is often highly specialized in certain content areas such as curriculum, instruction, behavior, compliance, and we want to ensure that you are connected with the person that is most knowledgeable with your area of concern or questions. Lastly, I do want to make sure that everyone has Sarah's email. As I mentioned, please feel free to reach out our phone number to our office. It's 407-343-8700. Please feel free to reach out to the department through the avenues, either email or phone. Again, Sarah and our office team, they might ask clarifying questions in order to help get the most appropriate team member on the line for you, but we are happy to work with you to address any concerns that you might have. That is all for me, Soren.
Thank you. And I have to say that Sarah is amazing. So please do reach out to her. She will reach back to you via email or call you. I know that I work with her all the time, so she is just amazing. I really appreciate you going over the questions that we had, and those are all great questions. And everybody that is with us here, or if you're going to watch this recording later, you have questions, please reach out to Sarah, and she will be able to help you with more personalized answers for your case. So the one thing that we wanted to do also right now, I am going ahead and share my screen, is I wanted to walk through on the website because I know there's great information on there. Walk me through it, Kathleen. And I'm gonna be clicking what I know, and then share with me what it is and where they need to go. So I do know we need to go to departments now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then we're going to go down and we're going to search for exceptional student education. And this is the website for all information related to ESE.
Absolutely. So we can kind of start at the top with these are all hyperlinks, so parents can explore that at their own leisure if they're interested in getting some more information. Just to kind of go from the top order down, the ESE overview of changes was the presentation that was made at the board meeting back in March when this was presented from Hillary DeLuca and Dr. Renee Clayton. So that first link is just the overview, which really gave a overview of the data that I spoke about earlier and why our district was kind of leaning towards both more inclusive opportunities and also creating those hub sites. We had an additional summary at the second one at our next board meeting, April 8th. That was after we had partnered and had engaging conversations with some of our families. So we wanted to ensure that the public knew that we were taking their input into consideration. So at this specific board meeting, we did highlight the new creation of a couple of different hubs, and we highlighted the different meetings of parents that have reached out to us. We do have an FAQ for parents, just overall ESE enhancements. Some of those questions I kind of overviewed today, but it is definitely helpful information for our parents to understand, again, the why is our district making these changes? What is our district looking to accomplish with these changes? And addressing kind of what school options might be still available for their child. We do also address the sibling request in there in the event that there is a sibling and parents are wanting for that sibling to attend the hub site. So it is definitely a lot of information. And as we continue to get questions and we're navigating them as a district, we are enhancing our website and adding those updates as we go. So it is a fluid website and continuously changing.
And this document, the FAQ, this one gets updated frequently as
It
well?
sure does.
Oh,
It
good.
does.
Okay.
Yep. We also recognize that teachers and staff have their own sense of questions, and their questions might be a little bit more streamlined and different lens from the parents. So we wanted to ensure that we definitely had those questions highlighted for teachers and staff. Again, some of those questions we spoke about earlier in regards to professional development, that training, and whether or not teachers will continue to have employment in the district. So definitely great answers to those questions that some of our staff members have had. Our next slide in there is the ESE hubs by community. Now, our district ESE office has created 4 different communities out there. We recognize that we are a very large district. So we have kind of split our district into 4 communities depending on the demographics. Just as an overall example, Community 1 lends itself to more of the Harmony and St. Cloud area. Community 2 is more of the coming more closer to the office. So that is more of our Toho, our East Lake, our Neptune, and our Parton settlement area for those that know kind of the demographics. Community 3, as we continue to go on, is looking at our Flora Ridge, our Kissimmee Middle, our Island Village, Thacker, Osceola High School, Celebration. And then our Community 4 delves into our Point Siena area because we also recognize that the needs across our district vary community to community. So we wanted to make sure that we have broken off into communities to help support. So you guys can see the opportunities on the left with a different type of hub sites that will be offered. We do have inclusive VPK coming, 3-year-old pre-K, 4-year-old pre-K. Some of our students require a separate class setting for deaf and hard of hearing or vision if they require that intensive support in that area. And then you will see the other types of hubs. And on the bottom of the slide, you will see our transition, which is our hub sites afforded to our students in post-secondary opportunities. And then you will see which school in that individual community will be hosting that specific hub site.
So, like in community 1, so which is the hub site?
Sure. So we have the behavior support classroom. So
Mhm.
that is a hub site that will serve our students that have more intensive behavior needs. There is a hub site at Canoe Creek K-8, Narcoossee Elementary, St. Cloud Middle, and St. Cloud High. So any of the schools in Community 1 that have students that require that setting will be hubbed over to one of those 4 schools.
Got it. Okay, so it's not like one school, it's like different locations in the community. I
Correct.
got
So
it.
if we're
Okay.
looking, just kind of as an example, if we are looking at Access Point Supported, which
Mhm.
is one of our hub sites, we do have 2 elementaries, 1 middle and 1 high, just in Community 1, and then each bandwidth, elementary, middle, and high, in each other respective community, because we want to make sure that we are highlighting those opportunities within each community. Now, there are some hub sites needs, such as participatory, that don't have a high number of students that require that specific need. So in those cases, we are transporting them, and they might be transporting them to different communities, depending on the amount of students across our district that require that.
Got it. Okay. That's really good information. Thank you for clarifying that.
Sure. All right. Our next one is the continuum of services, and this is in accordance and pursuant to the IDEA, which really wants to ensure that all districts, not just Osceola, are really working to make sure that students are served in their least restrictive environment. So this is just a visual map of what that different types of support looks like along the continuum, where you're talking about consultation as one of our least restrictive services, but still an ESE service, all the way to our hospital homebound or separate day or residential site. So it just kind of is a visual map of what that continuum looks like and what those support services within that continuum will look like.
Yeah, this is a good visual. This is really good.
The last couple are honestly just links to some of our partner resources. So we do work with the Florida Inclusion Network. Our district is working on inclusive scheduling, which is a practice of Florida Inclusion Network to ensure that our ESE students are provided with the best schedules as we approach the 25-26 school year. And then we also have different tools for staff. We have available professional learning opportunities. We have created kind of a professional development menu out there with countless different trainings that are being offered. Some are being offered as of now. Others are being offered in the summer, and some are also being offered at the beginning of the school year for newly identified staff members. And I believe that is it. We do have the video messages from Dr. Shanoff. So he does have kind of a video message. And then on the left-hand side, you can see the different departments within our ESE department. So if there are further questions kind of about our policies, procedures, possibly pre-K, transition, our website can definitely walk you through that. The main changes that we've been discussing are on the main page, though.
Yes, and then here you can see there is even Miss Hillary's email is on there, phone number, Facebook, the Remind, and on the left side you can see here Osceola County Pen Archive. That's where this video is going to live as well. And let me stop sharing. And you can find all the information. So we're going to be sending out also this video and with the website, the links directly to these resources that you just mentioned and went over. So families can have it right away. So that concludes for today. So we do have somebody that said that they're going to contact you and for some personal questions. So that is great. I encourage everybody on here to please contact the ESC department at Osceola School District, and that they will help you if you need any contact. Please, you can also, and you can find it, reach out to me. I'll have it for you. And I really appreciate you being here. You say you go by Kathy, right?
Yes, by Katie. And
Katie.
thank you
Okay.
for the opportunity. It truly has been a pleasure. I love being able to really dispel some of the rumors out there and provide transparent information to our families out there. So thank you for that opportunity.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for the transparency and for the willing to be here and sharing information with our families. For everybody that is here, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. If you're watching later the recording, again, and you have questions specifically to your situation, reach out to the ESC department. We are going to be back in 2 weeks for our afternoon insight, where we're going to have our family star present for us. And then with our lunch and learn, we're going to be back next year. So have a great summer, everybody. Stay cool. And we will see you in a few months. Have a good rest of your day.